My name is Farah Cogdell, and my primary craft is writing.
My name is Matthew Liu, and I am an actor, a music director, a composer, writer.
My name is Victoria, and I am a poet.
My name is Jessica Duan, and my craft is painting.
My name is Laura Sarama. I'm a dancer, singer, and I'm studying also acting.
My name is Renee, and I'm a writer and poet.
So I've always known that God put me on this earth for some sort of life in the arts.
I was looking for a group, something creative, something inspiring. It took me a very long time.
I did my art in a more isolated way, and I didn't really have support.
To find another Christian actor whose craft was not at the cost of their faith, but rather their faith enhanced their craft.
I've had cancer multiple times. Amy and Danielle rallied up everyone. We did wonderful house visits. They supported me while I was painting during chemo.
They care about everything that is done in the ministry. I think that is really, really important. God is God of the heavens, and at the same time taking care of each detail.
It was a very dark time in my life. Now that I'm in this group, there's a lot to look forward to. It's brought the Bible to life.
I've always just felt like art was just me expressing my own self, just part of it. Now, I feel like my art is also God's expression of beauty.
When I picture the essence of heaven, whatever each person does, it's like your job to cultivate that. A greater dignity is what I kind of walk away with.
So Renew York holds 2 events every month. Some of them are about trees, other ones of them are deeply about faith, some of them are worship nights, other times there are movie nights. Discover in a safe and open environment about spirituality.
One of the impactful events was this painting process. It was healing and helped me wrestle with so many different emotions that I wasn't able to work through until that night.
There's a particular activity. There were these beautiful scarves. We had our marker and we sort of etched our experience of God on the cloth. And then I thought that would just be our keepsake, but it was a whole nother level when we draped each other. I didn't know how much of a tactile and sort of explosive, warm, comforting, vulnerable experience that would be, being seen by another person, but also being covered with names and attributes of God. It was one of the most humbling experiences I've had.
I loved the trees teaching. It was about trees in the Bible, how they're representative of humans, of nations, why fruit is so important. That was really essential for encouraging me through a really hard season in my life. I'm thinking about it all the time still.
I loved Danielle's evangelism class. It gave me the courage to go out there and talk about my faith, especially in an art setting.
I'm using the Bible as a source for a lot of the material that I'm coming up with, and I'm trying to bring it to life.
Inviting other people, it has been really easy. Healing also from my experience from the past. I have a really close friend here, for example, that she is not Christian, but was like in an event, candle making. Everybody was super open, super welcoming. We talk about like our relation with God. Opening a perspective to something that maybe she didn't know. Now she feels is a space that is safe whenever she wants to come back.
There have been many ways that I have been marginalized and othered as a Christian. They embraced me wholeheartedly. It was just really humbling to see leaders who didn't just talk the talk and sit on their high horse. A leader that has humility has so much authority.
To the supporters, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I want you to know that when you have contributed, are faithful to the call, they take God seriously. They really do have a tireless, tenacious, loving spirit in everything that they do. And that's why it continues to grow as it does. So thank you so much for supporting them and us by extension.
Thank you so much for your support. There have been many times that Amy and Danielle have been able to provide, whether it was to cover an event or to cover my ride somewhere, and that could not be possible without your help.
Not only with their home, they're generous with their food, they're generous with their time, they're generous with their networks, even though they're not persons of great means, they use what they have.
Thank you, supporters, for your generosity. It means a lot, especially since they've done so much for me. So I hope you guys keep supporting. adding extra. I pray for New York to receive funding because they're doing such a big thing in the arts community. Yeah, it's changed my life.